I bet you thought you wouldn't see us because we're running a little late. Some technical issues going on, but we've got it straightened up. Today, we've got some serious topics on what you got to say. Now, keep in mind, for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, you can also see us on Roku, what you got to say, YouTube, what you got to say, and look for the logo with this handsome mug. But I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about a few things, lies and spies. So, this is what's happening with our government. They're either lying to us or spying on us. But we're going to discuss that in 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
To small business. That's a great way to have generational wealth. If you're a minority business, you may be struggling to keep your head above water. Why? In 2019, the Black community spent $1.5 trillion because the Black dollar lifespan, 28 days Asian communities, 19 days Jewish communities, 6 hours a month in the Black communities. Major brands target the Black media, TV, and radio. That's why Blacks are brand shoppers. That's why they get a big slice of that $1 trillion pie. Your business needs exposure. You got quotes from cable networks and local radio. They charge a lot of money for a little exposure. Networking and social media is a full-time job to get part-time money. Let's look at a successful Black business model. Remember Soul Train? It was a new Black TV show that Johnson Cosmetics increased the exposure of Afro Sheen and made billions of dollars for Bobby Johnson. Where are you going to find a good show for a low price? We have a talk show called What You Got to Say. What You Got to Say is a Black-owned talk show streaming live on YouTube channels, Facebook Live. What You Got to Say has a diverse audience from 18 to 62 years old, and their gross income range from $32,000 to $122,000 a year. That exposure will get you a good slice of the $1.5 trillion. Tell us about your business. Maybe able to get on our Black-owned spotlight. In 4 weeks, your business can go from surviving to thriving. To find out how you can get what's yours, email sales@squiresignage.com. They're waiting to hear what you got to say.
Lies and spies. That's what our government has been doing under the post-Trump. And every day there is something new, either we're discovering, going through, trying to get over, or basically haven't dealt with. But however, it's Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. And I want to introduce my co-host for the day. He is the Imam of the Islamic Center of Ewing. He's also one of the stars of the Three Wise Ones. Please welcome with us Imam Harib Bashir.
Hey, good morning there, Vincent, and all of those who are listening. We say, Assalamu alaikum, or may God's peace be upon you. And as Vincent, gave a brief introduction, let me just say this. What you will hear today is not a description of a movie, of a suspense or a drama or an action film. It is actually some of the workings of our government, unfortunately.
That's right. This is not a movie. This is our lives. Let's start with the let's start with the spies. Last night, big news media break. Okay. Apple and all of those other groups have now come out of their gag order, which was put upon them by Bill Barr. Donald Trump went after his enemies during the investigation of the Russian collusion and him withholding military equipment and monies that the country was using to fight against Russia. So what did he do? He sent his attack dogs in, and which the first one did not agree with it, known as our Attorney General. He resigned. Then he got Barr, who pledged his unfiltering, undying loyalty, or basically accepted the mark of the beast, and then started, as the subpoenas were going out to Apple and Android users, He basically investigated, tried to quote unquote find the leak, investigated reporters, which a lot of them found that they were under investigation. Their text messages and phone messages were sent for investigation. Not only reporters, but he went after his enemies. And he had no bigger enemy than two people, Nancy Pelosi and our chairman, help me out.
Um,
Adam,
Adam Schiff? No,
yes,
no, yes,
no,
okay.
yes,
No, it depends if who you're referring to. But nevertheless, Adam Schiff was one of the individuals that he did go after.
yes. And in fact, not only did he go after their personal phone messages, emails, etc., he went after their aides and some of their aides' children.
That's scary. That is really scary. And people should be upset. They should be afraid. But here's what's really perplexing is that the quote Republican Party and the libertarians have always been those who are against quote big government, a lot of oversight. They've always been against that. So it will be curious. I will be curious that in the following weeks, what type of opposition, what type of stand will the libertarians and the Republicans have against what's been discovered?
Hey, listen, I'm not liking this. See, first of all, generally when I have a conversation with someone in private, most of the time I like it to stay private. you know, there are certain things in which we do, in which we break down certain walls, filters that we do with our close friends and associates that should remain just between us and our close friends and associates. Listen, I mean, I got this little blog here. I mean, and I'm no big friend of Donald Trump. Never was. However, what if some of us, you and I, Iman, not only us, but let's look at, our production staff, their conversation, not only their conversation, but now they are investigating your kids and your grandkids. What if, and hey, we've gotten a couple of callers and so forth and viewers. They start, tracking down their phone numbers and investigating them. I mean,
I would begin to think that we live in a communist country. That we live in a country where we have not a president, but a dictator. And this is just so plain for everyone to see. What is holding people back from having a backbone and speaking out against this injustice that's being perpetrated or that was perpetrated by the previous administration? This is dangerous stuff.
Let's look at some previous administrations. This is the page out of Nixon. I mean, Nixonian politics, and then Nixon had his best friend, Mr. CIA Director Hoover.
Yes, FBI.
Yes, investigating private citizens that, opposed Nixon. And, Nixon used that as leverage against everybody.
Yes.
I mean, the problem with this is that it kills, first of all, our constitutional right of freedom of speech, the ability to say anything. Now, keep in mind, even there are certain people who, oh, by the way, if you're planning on calling, we do respect your constitutional right of freedom of speech, and we allow you to say anything. However, don't just say everything now, because you may not get the proper response you're looking for. Okay, but freedom of speech, the ability to talk through power, when the opinions of the American people are therefore monitored, that speech is no longer free.
That's right.
You don't know if Big Brother is watching you. You don't know if they're finding out about something you did. Let's face it, who hasn't lied on their income tax. Okay. You don't want an investigation, them pulling out all this other stuff, finding out who you know, because we all don't know people who are just law-abiding citizens.
Mhm. That's right.
You don't want the government going in, finding out the discounts that you have gotten on certain things like property, clothing, material, cars, whatever the case may be. There are certain things in which should be free.
Yes.
And when the government starts to watch that, we start to lose that. When we,
And not just but not just the individual, which is carries the utmost importance, but our country is based upon also the freedom of the press, and we learn so much from the press in terms of what's taking place in our government, laws that are being passed. So when that is being attacked, we should all be very, very concerned that our government, such as ours, is now in the business of investigating the free press. Very
mm,
dangerous.
well, let's look at you. You got to look at another thing. How many of them are knew that this investigation was going on?
No.
I mean, because in 2017, Gates went after Schiff, saying that he was part of that Russian plot of getting money through the electric groups and all that other stuff. Discrediting Schiff. Who was the other attack that they had on Pelosi? But you're right, attacking the press. They're attacking mainstream media, but yet they're not attacking fake news medias.
Right, exactly. Yes, I heard something the other day. Maybe you have more information than I do, but someone had brought up and wanted an investigation done to see if, in fact, any of the conservative news outlets or reporters were also being investigated. Because as of right now, it was allegedly the quote more liberal type news outlets and reporters.
Yes, the CNNs, the ABCs, the
Mhm.
NBCs, they did not go after Fox. They did
Right.
not go after the Republican press. They did not go after any of those reporters that had quote unquote inside information. They didn't go after Hannity or what's that other radical BS speaker
So
on
many of
Fox.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, Lou Dodd,
Yeah,
none of
yeah,
those
yeah.
people,
Right, right.
not one investigation was basically revealed that they went after on them. So
Mm,
he had a specific process in mind, and I think it was to shut up the people who were breathing down his back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
However,
Yeah, the fear tactics as well. But also too, you brought it out. Because of the gag order, that those individuals did not even know that they were being investigated. And to go after someone's family to investigate them, we better wake up. But Vince, and also, this is not totally new to us. Now,
no,
in recent times, things have gotten a lot better. But as an African American and as a Muslim in America, I can tell you that going back many years ago, these types of things were taking place.
well,
We even seen it with Dr. Martin Luther King as well. And you mentioned with J. Edgar Hoover and all of that. But we thought that those days were over.
no. Well, in recent times, let's go even recent than that. We had the FBI and the police of New York investigating 3 different mosques because of their relationship with Malcolm X. Wait a
Yes.
minute, 9/11. The
Mhm.
FBI did a huge investigation in the Black Islamic community,
Yes, they
including a
did.
couple of mosques that you're affiliated with.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So we see that we just better be aware. we really, really need to be aware of what's taking place.
Need to be aware. This is where we should be. We should be outraged. I don't hear anybody outraged. I look on social media, there is not one person posting some phone numbers to call some congressmen, to call some senators, to get a hold of our attorney general, to put things in place where this can't happen again. I don't hear anybody sitting up there talking about, look, I understand Black lives do matter, but Black lives won't mean a hill of beans when they start investigating all of these protesters' phone calls.
Yeah,
I don't see anybody outraged and getting the hold of anybody about making this never happen again. I mean, whenever he has the moxie, the intestinal fortitude, let me be a little direct. When somebody gets the balls to get an investigation and a wiretap on the intelligence chairman, Adam Schiff, what do you think they're going to do to little us?
Yeah. But you know what else? I think what has happened is that Donald Trump has created an environment where people are just not surprised. And not only are they not surprised, they're not shaken up as much. Where say if this would happen with someone else, you would see more of an outrage. You will see more of a voice against these types of things. But I think that people, well, that's okay, that's what he does.
Yes. People have become desensitized. Like we have become desensitized to Blacks being killed by police.
Right.
We have become desensitized about Colin Kaepernick taking the knee. We have come desensitized about, the Capitol insurrection to the point where people are starting to believe that, they didn't really do that much of any kind of harm or danger.
Like a tour, just a regular tour.
Yeah, just a regular tour. I mean, yes, tour with Nazi and Confederate flags, tour with, shirts that say Camp Auschwitz, tour with people yelling, hang Mike Pence, shoot Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, that's just the tour. You know what? In my life, and I toured many museums, many national monuments, many of our most trusted and sacred places in America. Yet I have never taken a tour where police officers got killed.
That's
we're going to address that, and also where we've gotten to the spies, we're going to come into the lies. Would you believe that there's this big lie going on right now? Another big lie going on right now, that there is no racism in our military. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Right.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah.
Our often repeated prayers,
Although we may be different,
Yet similar.
as we reach out to our Creator,
we offer all praise.
And we seek forgiveness.
we ask for peace in our hearts, in our minds, and in our spirits. Amen.
Do you believe that our military is a fundamentally racist organization? Yes or no, please.
Well, I won't give you a yes or no answer on that, Senator, because it deserves more than a yes or no. The military, like any organization, will have its challenges, but I do not believe it is a fundamentally racist organization.
Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but our time is limited. I think it is a pretty simple question. I'm glad that you agree it is not fundamentally racist. Do you believe that any member of the military should be treated differently based on their skin color and sex? Again, yes or no will do.
Again, this question deserves more than a yes or no answer. It is,
Mr. Secretary, I'm sorry to cut you off. Our time is limited. It is a very simple question. Should a member of the organization you lead be treated differently, in violation of the Constitution, I would add, based on their sex or the color of their skin?
no, I do not believe that, and that is
Okay.
why we have diversity, equity, and inclusion focus in the military.
And the military for decades has been one of the institutions in the society where you are most likely to get ahead based on your own performance, on your own merit, irrespective of the color of your skin or where you came from or who your parents were.
Senator, I absolutely agree with that, and I am an example of that.
Your
But
distinguished
I would
career
also,
is an
I would also say that
Mr. Secretary, your career is an excellent example of that. But I have more questions based on the reports we've seen. The military has included the works of critical race theories on its reading list by authors like Abraham Henry Rogers, who now calls himself Abraham Kendi, and Robin DiAngelo. Mr. Kendi has written, quote, "The only remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The only remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination," end quote. Do you agree with that proposition?
I've not read that, and I don't, I certainly don't agree with what you just said, but
Mr. Secretary,
it's always important to have the full context of anything that you're being asked to evaluate.
Yeah. So the Senate confirmation of the first man of color, decorated general. This man is so squeaky clean that even his dog would pass a background check for not pooping in anybody else's yard. Yet he asked a man who is squeaky clean, made it through the ranks of general in the United States military. No easy task. Okay. Now coming up to one of the highest honors and positions in our nation. And Tom Cotton asked him some jackass question about, do you believe that America's military institutions are fundamentally racist? What's worse for me than that jackass question was his answer. No, it's not fun. That's the biggest bunch of malarkey. Look, I'm ex-military, okay? Racist. In fact, military has been racist since the induction of military in the United States. It's been racist. In fact, even to this day in the military, it's still racist. Just because we have one, everybody says, oh, we've met quota. We don't need to bring in any more people of color. And one person of color, do you actually think that exacts a great deal of change?
Well, we've seen that through President Obama. And the same thing was being said. Oh, there's no racism. Everything's cool now. You got a black president. Oh, it's ridiculous. But listen, these hearings and also confirmations, they're so ridiculous oft times because like Tom Cotton, yes or no answer. Are you kidding me? Something this complex and you just want me to give a yes or no answer? And every time he tried to give some substance to it, he was cut off.
Exactly. It's called point picking. And all he wanted to do was to get a no, the military is not racist, so that can go on Fox. And all of
Exactly.
that white fragility cannot feel guilty because a black man said the
Right.
military isn't racist. You know what? The biggest slap in my face besides him saying that? Kamala Harris. We're
Mm.
not in a racist country. Really?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
seen all them white mofos? You ain't see a lot of black people going up there talking about we're taking over our country in the Capitol.
You know, yeah, it's wow.
Nobody had a bigger hand of government and a bigger seat to the theater of our United States government and racism than Joe Biden watching Obama go through that bull crap. And Joe
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
up there and goes, "Oh, we're not racist." Really, Joe? What freaking
yeah.
world are you?
Yeah, and see that's this. I'm gonna tell you. Look, I'm not making excuses, but um, sometimes I can see. Sometimes if people say certain things when they're trying to get to the position, okay. But if you've been blessed to get there, man, say what needs to be said.
That's what I'm talking about. Like Obama at his inauguration. You know what he played? Here I am, babe.
Yeah, right. I hear you. Yeah. And hey, listen, I've seen it. Like I said, I've worked in city government, been involved with politics. And I've seen, unfortunately, people they say things that they feel they need to say to get the position. But I've also seen people, once they get the position, they take a strong position. But I've also seen the opposite, that people were afraid to really just come out and say what needs to be said.
They didn't take a strong position once they got the position because they were trying to keep their
Keep the
position.
position. Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah, yeah.
Let's look at how racist our United States military is. The picture of Donald Trump and his military executive staff. It was like what? It was like looking at a Klan film. There was not one person of color in that group.
Right.
You look at the black generals in the United States military, you can count them all right now on one hand. You look at the African Americans and Hispanics that are going through West Point and the Naval Academy, and you look at that, you can count them on maybe one hand and maybe two fingers. Hold up, and you can combine both of them, and you still won't reach 20 of each class. You can sit up here and look at the African Americans and the people and the Americans of Hispanic in terms of the United States elite military, special forces, the Green Beret, the Rangers, the SEALs. They washed them out. When I went through my training, they did everything possible to wash me out.
Yeah, yeah,
You can't tell me that that's not racism.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I know for a fact I have family is in the military. I actually have a son now that's in the military. And he tells me the stories. It's not as as overt as it used to be, but at the same time, there it exists. And actually, I'm gonna tell you one of the Austin's replies or answers. I think maybe he could have or either should have said something to the effect of, well, if we go back in history, we see that our military is very, very racist, very discriminatory. However, it's gotten better, but there is still a lot that needs to be done. This way, he's telling the truth. He's combating what Tom Cotton is asking him, but at the same time, too, he's letting people know this is the reality.
Let's go back. Our military history. Let's go back 1770. During that era, America's fight for independence.
Yeah.
This is how racist they were. Francis Scott Key had a verse in Old Say Can You Sing?
Oh, right.
It was so racist that
Yes.
he actually damned and condemned the people of color, the free slaves, in which they called mercenaries and hirelings, as he called them in his song, damning them for not wanting to be killed. And this is what happened. He sat there on the boat because Francis Scott Key was a negotiator. The British captured him and told him, we are going to bomb this place so bad that that flag will be down by morning. And they put him in a position to watch it. Every time that they bombed it, the flag fell. You know what the United States military did? They got people, they got a group of the hirelings and blacks to hold the flagpole up and get bombed. Well, after 3 of those, the blacks were like, oh, where are they here?
Heck with this, man. Nothing happened.
Yes, yeah. Wait a minute. You want me to die for this country? You're not willing to die for this country, but you want me to do it, and some of my relatives are still your property? Oh, we're here.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay,
Oh man.
Let's go even further. Let's go even further. John Brown's rebellion. Yeah. And the rebellion of slavery. They sat up there and villainized the insurrectionists in there, Reverend Nat Turner, John Brown, and all of those, yet they discounted that part of history of why they were rebelling. Harsh treatment, your wife and your daughter being raped in your face by a white man, and you can't do anything about it. Wait a minute, you being beaten or even maimed, cutting off parts of your body.
Yes.
Or just straight up killed. Yeah. Oh, no. Those lazy, no good people didn't want to work. They didn't want to be slaves after how good we treated them. And they started to rebel. Really? Look, you kick a dog long enough, he's going to start rebelling.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go even further. Vietnam War. That huge inflection. Okay, no, let's go back. It was so racist, they believed that blacks were actually incompetent to handle certain actual jobs and positions. So the military, in terms of blacks were cooks, porters, latrine diggers. They were not allowed in anything, and basically stunt dummies. They would send them in places that they know they would take heavy fire and die and become casualties and statistics, while the whites got these wonderful cushion, electronic and very mental jobs, until what those experiments called the Tuskegee Airmen, who still have the record of never losing a bomber. Not one military, Army, Navy, Air Force, anybody has that record yet. Oh, and let's not forget the Hellcat fighters of Harlem. They sent them in there where their special forces couldn't even get it done.
Yes, right. Yeah, they excel, but they don't get the credit. The education is not there. Hey, it's just the racism is so inherent. You know
another one. Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. Remember that big charge?
Yes.
Okay, history doesn't tell you that they sent the Buffalo Soldiers in first to attract all their fire. Military not racist? Kiss my black.
Go ahead, say what you really mean. But hey, look, and we can see it just the whole development. Even when you look at World War I, World War II. One of my heroes, Muhammad Ali, brought so much consciousness to the fact of, look, you're going to send me over there to start killing people, and I don't even have the rights and the freedoms that I should have here. Those people never did anything to me. You're the one that has the history, and people begin to rally behind that. So we need more people who are famous, more people who are in the spotlight to begin to stand up and say some things to prick the human consciousness of our young people.
Listen, Muhammad Ali said one of the quotes in my life that I had the blessing to hear from, because this is when he was living in that time when he was living in Cherry Hill. Yeah. And we used to go over and watch him come out of his house, and he would come and talk to us and play with us and everything. And one of these white kids asked him, how come you didn't want to go to the war? And he looked at a little white kid with his dad in the eye and said, a Viet Cong never called me an in.
Yeah, right. That's right.
That's what we need. People who are not afraid to speak truth to power.
Yeah. And, it just, I don't know. It just really upsets you. And, it makes you wonder, do a lot of Caucasians, white people, do they really, like when Tom Cotton starts asking these stupid, ridiculous questions, do they really believe that, okay, the military is not racist? There's not discrimination. Do they really believe that, or it just fits their agenda? It makes you wonder sometimes, you know. It's like, you got to be
No.
kidding.
Here is my opinion to that question. No, they don't believe it, but yet they do. Well, they don't believe it. Yet they are looking to, one, keep the lie going because America does not want to face the truth. The 1619 Project gives in your face truth about, yes, America is racist and has done some evil things, but it also gives you the ability to say that we can rise above it. There are some people who do not want to face the truth. Tom Cotton, what he didn't orchestrate was allow a lot of white fragility to get plausible deniability.
Yes.
Oh, he said it's not racist, then it's not racist. You know it's racist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
But you're gonna rest your hat on that lie. No, that's what he said. That's not me saying it. That's him saying that. It's not right. You know, God bless it well, it's not racist.
Yeah. And you actually said it so correctly, is that basically what they're looking for is a sound bite. Forget the whole conversation, forget the context of it, but they're looking for a sound bite that they can play on Fox News or some of their other networks. Well, hey, look, the defense secretary said that the military is not, racist. Okay.
And my favorite is the way they spin it. Yet they victimize the victim once again by making the perpetrator the victim. Well, no, I know he killed those people, but he was just having a bad day. We're going to take him to Burger King. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Yes, we know she killed that black man and all he had was an air freshener in his window, but she mixed up her taser from the gun. No. He didn't die from a knee on his neck. He died from the fumes causing him to suffocate and the drugs that he used. Oh, wait a minute. He's not taking a knee on national football on the day that the NFL took from God that they own Sunday now. He's not spending Sunday taking a knee to protest the injustices of blacks being killed by the police. No, he is disgracing our national flag. Jeremiah Wright said it best. He said, no, God bless America. God damn America. Guess what you're doing?
Yeah. Hey, Vince, people need to wake up, man. I'm telling you, things are really serious. We use sometimes the statement of things have gotten a lot better, and they have, but we use that, I think, in such a way where we put blinders on of not seeing the reality of all the things that are currently taking place.
Plausible deniability on our side, Iman. Plausible deniability. We sit there and lie to ourselves and we lie to our children that things are getting better. Yet secretly we look at it and say that they're not. Just because some of us have made it to the point of middle class or middle management, or we've got more coins in our pocket than our other black man or brother or neighbor, we now say that we're on our way to overcoming, and it's not all about, it's not fair and injustice anymore. Now I'm seeing the equality. No, because I was in a Bentley when the police pulled my black behind over.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know what you mean. Now, you have three levels of human growth and development. We start out as individuals, then hopefully we grow to family, and then the next level, which is the highest level, is community. And when we look at our progress, okay, we have made progress as individuals, we have made progress as families, we've made some progress as a community, but overall, as a people, we have a long way to go, man. We got a long way to go.
Well, what we need to do as a people is this. Right now, for those of you who are watching, it's about time that you get off your butts It's about time that you stop complaining. It's about time that you stop going over and listening to these news clips, sound bites, and justifying what they do and take action. The greatest power that you have as a citizen of this country is the ability to vote. We now see those people who were elected who are not doing something.
Mhm.
We've even got do nothing Democrats and laugh at your Republicans. Okay. Now it is time that we vote them out. It's time that you guys start sending emails, phone calls, wear your mask, grab your brothers, sisters, and neighbors, get them to the polling place on time. It's time that we stop laying down and taking it and start doing something about it.
And
We're
part
not
of
taking
doing something about it is like you alluded to, is threatening those who are supposedly on our side. Believe me, they have gotten comfortable and they take our votes for granted. We have to
yes, they do. That's why we got a lot of do nothing Democrats, like Senator Manchin, who got put in the office because of Obama, and a completely majority white, majority Republican state of West Virginia. Yet he gets in there, and instead of acting like a Democrat, he's a do nothing Democrat and working for the Republicans.
That's right.
It is time that we start voting them out. If that's not your state, then maybe send the person who's running against these people who are not working in our favor, send them $20 or something like that to help them to win.
Right. Yes.
We all have to get through this. It's not justice if it's just one. Because when you look around in the courtroom, you see, as Fred Fox said, I went to court for justice, and that's what I saw. Just us.
Yeah, right.
Iman, we're closing the show, so tell people where they can see you, meet you, send you emails.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Well, with the introduction, I'm the imam of the Islamic Center of Ewing, is in New Jersey, as a suburb of Trenton. I'm also the president of the Islamic Council of Greater Trenton, which comprises of approximately 8 different Islamic organizations. We also work very closely with the Trenton area soup kitchen, many interfaith organizations. If you want to contact me, you can go to the Islamic Center of Ewing webpage. It is spelled Islamic Center with 1 C between this Islamic and the center .com actually. Also, too, you can see me on our Facebook page, the Islamic Center of Ewing Facebook page, where we have various announcements, some of our speeches, our guests. And yes, please contact us. I love to collaborate with people, especially on good projects that's going to help build the community.
Wow. Well, I know you're getting ready for Jumar.
Yes. And also catch us on with the 3 wise ones also too. And we're on YouTube, and we're on Roku, and what else is it on, Vince?
YouTube, Roku, Facebook.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. In fact, you have a guest. You have a state senator from Pennsylvania on your show coming up this Thursday.
Yes.
So, well, in closing, I want to say this. I grew up in North Philadelphia on Bolton Street. I know some of my old Bolton Street neighbors are on my Facebook page and probably watching the show. Too bad you didn't call in, but there is going to be another show. But what I do want to say is this. One of the things in which we sit, in which the elders and the seniors used to tell us when they bring us over there, sit us on their step and talk with us, they'd always say to us, look, you need to be about something. You need to be about something. Don't sit there and do nothing. I am counting on you because you are the future. This world that you're growing up into is your world. And you need to be about something to make changes. One man said, listen, I'm first generation out of slavery. And in my life, I may never see a Black president. But in your life, you should. And even if you have one, he should not be the last.
That's right.
Those people that we have right now are elected officials, public servants. We happen to be the public. If they are not doing what they need to do to help increase and give you a better quality of life, then you should give them an opportunity to do nothing on a full-time basis. Vote them out. And if that person doesn't work out well, there's another election coming again. The best thing about our